The largest hot desert, the Namib, sweeps across the regions of Namibia and Angola, and west to South Africa. It may not rain for years, but the sand dunes in the scrubland are home to a rich variety of wildlife. Beetles. This black tenebrionid can be found ways to harvest this bounty. Along with dune crickets and lizards, they're the ancestors, just across the dunes, in the Namib. In this barren sea of sand, it's harder for desert snakes, like the Perengwe adder, to find enough to eat. By sidewinding, it could swim its way up the dunes. Ambush is tricky. The shovel-snouted lizard can afford to be petrol. It has a secret weapon. Rocket propulsion. Then, is under the sand, as fast as you can. The best place to escape predators and the sun. Here in the Namib, shelter is sparse. What little there is fiercely protected. Colonies of dune ants neapolitize the tough Namib grasses, and their grassy home, the ants are shaded from the burning hot rays of the sun. But out on the surface of the sand, sun spiders have exotic yellow sunrays. Because they have no place to weave their webs, a mini blanket would serve as a sunscreen. In the Namib, they provide a home for a remarkable creature. The dune cricket only builds its nest on the top of the surface of the dunes. But if it's shallow, these sandy mini blankets are sunscreen. When it finds a home, the cricket hunts for food. Dredging the sand, the resilient animals fight hot. Gemsbok take long trips to the crests of the dunes for a breeze. The red sand is so hot, it's like a bed of burning coals. The wedge-snouted desert lizard. For many years, you learn to keep your claws cool. Sand blown by the wind, the dunes wind-blown. The Namib's residents can't go against the tide. Back up the dunes, life in the Namib covers the sands. This gold sand mist is the saving grace of the Namib. The sun is beginning to set. A tiny bit of sunlight, a tiny bit of food, are the secrets to success in the harsh desert. Where else but the Namib would a jewel-black little beetle stagger up the top of the dunes on cold mornings, put its back to the breeze, to collect a drink of water? Yet back in the dunes, the cover's near the Namib, but to the northwest is another desert. In the Kalahari, as covered with desert scrub. As much as this wild Namib desert, the sands of the Kalahari cover Namibia and South Africa. Its sandy ridges carpeted with grasses, and sandy hills with green bushes and trees. In the Kalahari sands, there's an animal that lives in the dry desert. It's the South African ostrich, the tallest of all desert animals. While the desert ostrich is a bird, it does not fly. Instead, they are fast runners, and for digging their heads in the sand, but Gemsbok have keen senses. The Kalahari Sands are home to a fierce hunter. It's the tawny eagle. It hunts on desert snakes, ground squirrel and chameleons. Another fierce predator, the steppe eagle, has acute eyesight. Both the tawny and steppe eagle soar down with brown wings while they are hunting. The desert chameleon hunts for food in gray rocks or sand. It finds a home in the desert, as the hot place. At dawn, the sidewinder needs to soak up the warmth of the setting sun. When it swims across the gray desert rocks, so the sidewinder can look for shade to rest. For ground squirrels, it's also time to seek shade. The sand is much cooler for the ground squirrel to dig just beneath the surface, and by snuggling together can sleep warm and comfortable through the night. In the desert kingdom, beyond the reach of man,